Hai, Assalamualaikum. Today we are going to learn about the circles. So first, let's look at the equation for circles. Suppose we have the center of the circle, which is given by hk, which is the coordinate hk, and its radius is actually r. Right, from the center to the circle itself is represented by the radius r. Then we will have the circle which is in this form of equations, where we are given with x minus h square plus with y minus k square is equal to r square, where the center is actually hk and the radius is r. Now, suppose we have, like, for example, the center of this circle, right? We are given with 2, -4, and the radius is actually 2. So we just need to substitute inside the equation. So we'll have something like x minus 2 square plus y minus -4 square equal to r is 2, so 2 square. We simplify this, we'll have x minus 2 square plus with y plus 4 square equal to 4. This is known as the standard form of the equation for the circle. If we ask to write the general form of the equation for the circle, then we have to expand this one to be x squared minus 4x plus with 4 plus with y squared plus with 8y plus with 16, which is equal to 4. We have to make the right side of the equation is equal to 0, so we'll have to collect all those terms on the left side. So we'll have some x squared plus y squared minus 4x plus with 8y, so 16 plus 4. So we know that 16 plus 4, right? So that one will be plus 16. This one will be equal to 0. So this is the general form of the equation for the circle. All right, let's look at some examples. First example here, we need to sketch the circle given by this equation. We know that when we are given with this equation, so we have the center, right? We have to interpret that we have the center, which is 1, -2, and the radius is actually 2, all right, which is square root of 4. Right, so we just need to draw the circle which with the center 1, -2. So we will have something like, suppose we draw this y-axis. All right, so and then we'll have this one as x-axis, right? So 1, -2, so 1, -2 is somewhere around here. So this is the center, and the radius is 2. All right, so when you want to sketch the radius, it's something like, right, this way you're going 2, this way you're going 2, right? So we'll have something like, okay, so this one is actually 1, this is actually -2. So 1 plus with 2 will get 3, 1 minus 2 you will get a -1, and then this one, okay, you go to 0, and then this one -2. Sorry. All right, so this -2, all right, so -2 will get a -4. You get a -4. So that, what do we call? So that circle will pass through these points. All right, so you'll have those points on these, okay, and here. All right, so basically the circle looks like this. Okay, right, so this is the circle that you have with the center, something like this. All right, my circle doesn't look very nice, but you have to sketch it nicely, right? Make it nice, right? Sorry for my drawing. All right, so that's basically something like this. So we have the 1 and -2 as the, what do we call, at the center, all right, and its radius is actually 2. Now suppose we are given with the general form of the equation for this circle. We need to determine its radius and center. So what should we do? All right, this is the part which is very tricky. All right, now we collect those x together. So we have x squared plus with 8x, right? You leave blank for the constant behind it, 8x, right? 8x, right? You leave blank that, and then you have plus with y squared, and then you have minus 6y All right, and then you have to bring this positive 16 to the right. So I'll have a negative 16. This is the first step. All right, next you have to think if you need to factorize this x. All right, so actually you just need to take this 8. All right, 8, you consider this 8. All right, you divide with 2 and then you square. 8 divide with 2, you get 4, and then you take 4 square, which is 16, meaning to say that you have to add 16 here. When you add 16 on the left side, therefore you have to add 16 on the right side of the equation. Right, same goes to this 6, negative 6y. This negative 6y, you just need to, what do we call, negative 6 divided by 2, you get negative 3, and negative 3 square, and then you'll get a positive 9. So you have to add the positive 9 on this side. All right, a positive 9. So when you add 9 at the left side, and then you have to add 9 on the right side. Now you can actually factorize this one. All right, this part now. All right, now, all right, and you can factorize this. All right, now we factorize this as actually x plus with 4 square, all right, plus with y minus 3 square. So this one will be that one will be 9. All right, negative 16 plus with 16 plus with 9, so you get a 9, positive 9. Right, so you get 9 on this side. All right, so this is the standard form of the circle, but you better write 9 as 3 square, right, so that you know that the radius is actually 3. All right, so y minus 3 square, this is actually 3 square. So we already know the center of the circle is given by a negative 4, 3, and its radius is actually a positive 3. All right, so this is the answer for this part. All right, now let's look at the next example. Suppose we have example 3 here. You have to find the center and radius of this circle. All right, so what should we do in this first place? When you see those what do you call, okay, you can actually factorize 2. Actually, you can divide everything with 2, so you'll have something like 2x squared plus with 2y squared minus 2x, and then I have plus 6y plus with 3 equal to 0. Again, you have to collect those x together with x, so I have something like 2x squared minus 2x. All right, then I want to put those y to y squared. Yes, 2y squared, what do we call that, plus 2y squared plus 6y, and then I have to bring these negative positive 3 to the right, so it will become a negative 3. Now what I need to do is to make the coefficient of x squared and also y squared equal to 1, but now the coefficient is actually 2. So what we need to do is to divide everything with 2. So when we divide everything with 2, we get something like x squared minus x plus with y squared plus 3y. This one will become a negative 3 over 2. Now you have to add a constant here, right? Okay, same as before. What are the numbers that we need to fill up with that? Right, so you have to consider this actually. All right, this one is actually a negative 1. So negative 1 divided by 2, and then you square it. All right, so you will get 1 over 4, meaning to say that you have to add 1 over 4 on the left side. Therefore, you have to add 1 over 4 on the right side. Right, now for this for the second part, where for y, now you know that the coefficient of y here is actually positive 3. Therefore, you have to consider a positive 3 divided by 2 square, and then you have to add 9 over 4. So you add 9 over 4 on this side. All right, you add 9 over 4 here. Now you can actually, all right, now you want to factorize this one. So this is actually x minus half square plus with, all right, now you squared, you factorize this one, you get y plus with 3 over 2 square. Right, this is the factorization for this quadratic expression. So this is actually, all right, so negative you have a negative 3 over 2. All right, you add with the 1 over 4 plus with 9 over 4, therefore you'll get a positive 1. So 1 is the radius, so 1 is actually equal to 1 square. So now we already got the center of the circle, which is given by half -3 over 2, and its radius is actually 1. So we are done with this one, right? It's quite tricky because it involves the fractions for the center. Right, now let's look at example 4 here. Suppose we have the center which is centered at this. All right, now it passes through this, it finds the radius. All right, so we are given with the circle which is centered there, right? So we have the equations for the circle is actually given by x plus with 5, right? Recall that. All right, let me just write the equation for this circle: x minus h square plus y minus k square, which is given by r square. Therefore now we have x plus with 5 square plus with y plus with 10 square. This is actually given by r square, right? Now we need to find the radius, since this circle, all right, since this is the equation of the circle, it passes through this point. Therefore we can substitute with the points x, y, which is 7 and -5. So you can substitute x with 7 and substitute y with -5. Therefore you'll have something like 7 plus with 5 square plus with -5 plus with 10 square. You get an r square. Therefore this one is actually 12 square, which is 144, and this one is actually a plus 25. This is actually a r square. So r square is actually 169. Therefore r is actually a square root of 169. So this one will be a 13, right? So the radius for this circle is actually 13 here. Now we already got the radius. We need to find the equation of the circle in the standard form. So you just need to write back this equation with the value for r, which is actually 13. So this is for a. And now I'm going to write the equation of the circle in the standard form. Therefore I have something like x plus with 5 square plus with y plus with 10 square. R is now 13, so 13 square. Or you can write is actually x plus with 5 square, so plus with y plus with 10 square. So this is actually 169. If you are asked to write the equation of the circle in the general form, then you have to expand this and make the equation is equal to 0. So this is the standard form, all right, of this circle. All right, now we are given with these 2 points, where these 2 points are actually the endpoints of the diameter for the circle. All right, so suppose we have a circle here, right, and this is the center and we have the diameter. So we have the endpoints which are given with a -4, 2, and this one is actually 2 and -2. So we need to find the equation of the circle with this diameter. So what we should do is actually to find the center of the circle firstly, right? We have to find the midpoint. Recall the equation for the midpoints. All right, so to find the equation of the midpoint, so center is actually the midpoints of the, what do we call, of these what do we call this, of this diameter, right? So midpoint of the diameter. So you have to add a -4 with 2. -4 plus with 2, you divide with 2 because we need to find the midpoint. And the second part for y, which is 2 plus with -2 plus with -2, you divide with 2. All right, you simplify this one, you'll get this part, which is a -4 and -2 divided by 2. This one 0 divided by 2. You simplify, you get a -1 0. -1 0 is the center for the circle. Now we have something like, all right, okay, I've got -1 0 here, but do you know the radius here? Right, to find the radius, how to find the radius? So recall the formula for distance. So this is something like we want to find the distance from -1 0 to 2 -2, something like this. So recall the formula for the distance. So r is actually given by, right, the distance between -1 0 between these 2 points. All right, now so we have something like, right, x2 minus x1 square. So we have 2 minus a -1 square plus with a -2, all right, minus 0 square. Simplifying this one, you'll get something like this one, 3 square plus with -2 square. All right, so you get something like square root of 9 plus with 4, therefore you have this one as square root of 13. So this is the square root of 13, which is the radius. So now we already have the center, right? Recall the center for the circle, -1, 0, and its radius is actually square root 13. Can you find the equation for the circle? Yes, of course, we can find the equation of the circle, which is given by x minus h square plus with y minus with k square, which is given by r square. So now we just need to substitute the values, which is x minus -1, so we'll have x plus 1 square plus with y minus 0 square, and then you will get square root 13 square. Simplifying this, you will have something like x plus 1 square plus with y square, which is equal to 13. So this is the equation for the circle. So we are done with this example, right? I hope you get the idea how to solve this one. Now let's look at this one. We need to sketch this circle, all right? Pretty easy. So what we need to do is to write the equation of the circle in standard form firstly, right? So we have to collect those x together with x, so x squared minus with 4x, and then we have y squared plus with 10y, and then you have to bring this 20 to the right side, you get -20. Next, you have to find a number, okay, to fill out with a number here, all right? So what number should be filled here, all right? You take that -4, you divide with 2, you get a -2, and then you square this -2, you get a +4. So you have to add 4 here, always positive, all right? So what about this one? You have a 10 divided with 2, you take this 10, you divide with 2, you get a 5. So 5 square, you get a 25. So you add 25 here. But recall that when you add this, what do we call 4 and 25 on the left side, therefore you have to add 4 and 25 on the right side, so that the equation now is balanced. Now you can factorize this part, okay? Now we're going to factorize this. We will have x minus 2 square, and for this part we will factorize as y, right, plus with 5 square. All right. Now for this one you get 29, right? 29 minus 20, therefore you get a 9. So this is the circle, all right, with the center which is 2 and -5. This one plus with 5 square, and its radius is actually 3. So we have the center which is 2 and -5, and its radius is actually 3. So how to sketch this part? All right, so we have 2 -5, so 2 -5 is something like this, right? This is 2 and this is -5. Suppose -5 is here, so we have the center here, and its radius is actually 3. So you add 3 here, so it will become a -2. You minus 3, you get a -8, right? And then you minus 3 here, you get a -1, and you plus with 3, you get this one, a -1. You plus with 3, you get 5, right? So that's something like this. So sketch this circle, all right? Again, my drawing is not as good as yours in this case because I'm using this tablet. It's not easy to sketch using this tablet, right? Okay, this doesn't even look like a circle. This one looks like an ellipse, right? So this is wrong. All right, so make your drawing beautiful, okay, please. Okay, now, all right, now we are done with this one. I hope you know how to sketch. You have to do a lot of exercises to sketch this part. All right, now we have this example number 7 here. All right, now we are given with the straight line. The straight line passes through the center of the circle at 2k, right? Suppose we have this circle and we have this straight line, right? So the straight line which is y equal to x plus 3, and this is actually the center of the circle which is 2k. Find the value of k. We know that when the equation of the straight line, if it passes the points, then we can substitute with the coordinates of that point inside the equation. So we have this one as x and this one as y. We can substitute y with k and x with 2. So we have, right, y equal to x plus 3. So now k, y is the y ordinate is k, and the ordinate for x is actually 2, so 2 plus 3. We directly get k is equal to 5. Now we need to find the equation of the circle with the center above and passes through this point. Right now, meaning to say that when it passes through this point, we don't have the radius for that circle, for this circle. All right. Now we already have the center. All right. So for B, the center. All right. C, which is given by 2, 5, because the question asks us to write the equation of the circle with the center above. So the center above just now we got 2, 5. So you just need to plug it inside the formula for the circle, which is x minus h square plus with y minus with k square. This is given by r square. And then we have x minus 2 square plus with y minus 5 square. This is given by r square. Right now, because this circle, this new circle, it passes through these points, right? So we can actually substitute with the coordinates of this point inside the equation of the circle. So we can substitute with x with 5 and y with 9. So we have 5 minus 2 square plus with 9 is actually y. Alright, 9 minus 5 square, therefore we got r square. So this one is 3 square, 3 square is 9, 9 plus, right, 9 minus 4, 9 minus 5, which is 4, 4, which is 16, which is r square. Therefore we got r square, which is given by 25. Therefore, alright, from this equation of the circle, we already obtained the value for r square. We just need to substitute back. So we'll have something like x minus 2 square plus with y minus 5 square. This is given by 25. So we are done with the equation for this circle. Alright, let's go to equation for example number 8 here. We have a circle with this equation which intersects a straight line, this one. Alright, suppose we have this circle, and then we have the equation of the straight line, which is given by what do we call y equal to x minus 3. This is just an illustration, right? May not be correct. At points j and k. Alright, find the coordinates of j and k. Alright, so what should we do? Because this equation of the circle, it intersects with this line, so we can substitute with this equation of the line inside the equation of the circle. Alright, so we have the equation of the circle, which is given by x square plus with y square minus 16x minus 4y plus with 59, you get 0. Now you just need to substitute the variable x with x minus 3. So meaning to say that this part and this part will be substituted with x minus 3. So we have x square plus with x minus 3 square minus 16x minus 4, y will become x minus 3 plus with 59, this one equal to 0. And then we have to expand this one, x square plus with x square minus 6x plus with 9 minus 16x minus 4x plus with 12 plus with 59, you get 0. Simplifying this, you'll get 2x square. Right now collecting those negative 6x with negative 22, negative 22 minus negative 26, right? We get minus 26x, and then 9 plus with 12, all right, plus with 59. Therefore we get an 80, all right, 80, which is equal to 0. Now we need to solve this quadratic equation, so we can actually factorize 2. We'll get something like x squared minus 13x minus plus 40, which is equal to 0. And then we have to solve this actually quadratic equation. We have alright, the value for a, which is 1, the value for b, which is negative 13, and the value for c, which is 40. Therefore we get x is actually 8, and another one can be 5. So this can be factorized as x minus 8, x minus 5, which is equal to 0. So x minus 8 equal to 0, x minus 5, which is equal to 0. All right, now we only have the ordinates for the x. We have to find the coordinates, meaning to say that we have to find the ordinate for y. When x is equal to 8, right? So what will happen to y? Which which equation should we substitute? We can substitute inside this equation. We can also substitute inside this equation. Why? Because at point J and K, the points intersect, all right, on the circle and also the straight line. So you can substitute inside either equation. But the easier one is, of course, this value, y, which is given by x minus 3. So we have y equal to x minus 3. Our x is now 8, so 8 minus 3 will get y equal to 5. The second one will have x, which is equal to 5. All right, x equal to 5. Now we have y equal to 5 minus 3. Therefore, y is equal to 2. So the coordinates for j and k are, all right, so you can say j and k, all right, 8, 5, and another one, 5, 2. So these are the answer. Okay, 8, 5, and 5, 2. All right, finally, let's look at this example. Suppose we have these two circles intersecting. What should we do? Right, so this is quite tricky, but it's actually easy. We can actually eliminate the x squared and y squared. How to eliminate this x squared and y squared from both equations? So actually we can take minus. Suppose we minus this equation. So what will happen? So we will have something like x squared minus x squared 0, y squared minus y squared 0. Now we are eliminating x squared and y squared. Now we have to simplify this. Negative 8x minus negative 9x, meaning to say that we have 9 minus 8, right? So we have x. Next, we have negative 2y minus y. Therefore, we have minus 3y. Negative 8 minus with what we call 8 will get minus 16. This one will become 0. Now we write x as the subject. We have something like 3y plus with 16. All right. Next, we can substitute this x equal to 3y equal to plus 16, right, inside either equation, whether this equation or inside this equation. Anything which any easy any easy alternative for you. You can pick any one. All right. Suppose I put it inside in the first equation. So let's see. So now I put x, which is 3y plus with 16. So I have 3y plus with 16, right? That is the place for x. Now plus with y squared minus 8. Now we have x will become 3y plus with 16, right? And then I have 2 minus 2y minus 8 equal to 0. I'm substituting, all right? If you are still wondering which equation I'm substituting inside this equation. Right? Now we have to expand this one. We'll get something like 9y squared. All right, so I have, okay, now 2 multiplied with 3 multiplied with 16, I'll have plus 96y. Right, now we have 16 squared, which is given by 256. Okay, now we have plus with y squared. Now I'm going to expand this part. All right, I'll have something like minus 24y. All right, and I have minus 128. I have minus 2y minus 8, which is equal to 0. Now I'm going to collect those y squared together. So I have something like 10y squared. All right, 96. And I'm going to collect those 96. Those terms with the variable y. So I have 96 minus 24 minus 2. All right, so I will have plus 80y, and then we have, all right, 256 minus 128 minus 8. Therefore I'll have plus 120, which is equal to 0. We have to simplify these quadratic equations. We can divide every term with 10. Therefore we'll have something like y squared plus 8y plus with 12, which is equal to 0. Okay, so we have to solve what do we call this quadratic equation. All right, so we have something like a y, which is equal to negative 2, another one which is y equal to negative 6, because if we factorize this one, this will become y plus 2, y plus 6, right? This is equal to 0. But this is the you know, the intersection points, meaning that we have to find the coordinates. So we have to find the ordinate of x and the ordinate of y. But now we only have the ordinate for y. So how to find the ordinate of x? So we just need to substitute inside this equation. Let me highlight this equation. You need to substitute inside this equation to find the value for x. So when y, which is equal to -2, so x should be 3 -2 plus with 16. So that one is actually 10. Right? All right. When y equal to -6, therefore x will become 3 and -6 plus with 16. So -18 plus with 16 will get a -2. Therefore, the two intersection points, let me write this one. Intersection points will be, right, the first one can be, right, be careful, you have to write the ordinate for x first. So you get this one, right, 10 -2 and -2 -6. So you have 10 -2 and the second one, which is a -2 -6. So we are done with this one, right? So basically that's the equation for the circle. Recall that we have the equation for the circle, which is given by this x minus h square plus y minus k square equal to r square, where the center of the circle is actually hk and the radius is given by r. So that's it. Thank you.